that ask me, yeah, people that ask me, hey, okay, now waiting they shock you. Eh? Me, I don't tell them I'm in love with a ninja. Eh? I'm in love with a ninja. I'm in love with a ninja. I am in love with a ninja. Hey, I'm in love with a ninja. If you know this song, please drop it in the comment section. Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. It's still your girl KAMSY. If today is your first time seeing my face, you're highly welcome. Please don't make it your last. My name is chinenyenwa. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based here in Italy. Please do me well by clicking the red subscribe button. It's free of charge. And today's video na hot gist, and I know you wouldn't wish to miss out. And believe me, after this I still have other hot ubonge gist coming. Okay, please click on the red button that says subscribe and join. And for my returning subscribers, thank you all for your love and support. You guys are amazing. Guys, in today's video I'll be talking about how I met my husband. So many people have been asking me this question. So many have different ideology of how they feel that I met my husband, because I and my husband, our marriage happened like as in, you will see me today, no man, the next day I'm married. So people are like, it's a lie, you are lying, you've known your husband, I did not see. In today's video I'll be telling you guys everything that happened, how I met him, how we married. Just know that the marriage happened today. So if you want to know everything about I and my husband, how we met and married, we married within a month. A month didn't cross. We married within a month. So if you want to know the full details, please keep watching this video and like, subscribe, share, comment, do everything doable in this video. Okay, so guys, let's dive into the video. Guys, the journey started in the month of June. It was my birthday month, in the month of June 2017. So as my birthday was approaching, it was my final year as well. As my birthday was approaching, I was like, okay, I've never had photo shoot pictures all my life. I don't have any photo shoot picture. So I told my friends, girls, let's go and have a photo shoot. Not just me, even my friends, they've not had photo shoot pictures. Like, it's just a normal photo as in pictures. Apart from my friend, I think my friend that was married as at then had her photo shoot because of her wedding, if I'm not mistaken. But personally, we've not had any photo shooting or whatever. So I told them, I suggested, okay, for once, and this was our final year, let us go have a photo shoot. And we all agreed and fixed a day. Brethren, let me start by saying that it's not like I didn't have other guys that I was speaking with. I have other guys that was calling me. We were talking about marriage. And one thing about me is that I'm always careful when it comes to things of promising people. I don't promise you. I don't promise anyhow. So anytime I promise you and say I will do this for you, I try to make it up. So I didn't promise all those guys coming from my heart in marriage. I didn't promise anyone marriage. The only thing I normally tell them is, if it is the will of God, it will happen. So anyone that calls me, I didn't promise any of them. I was just telling them, let God's will be done. I know of one that wanted to. The one I even said, okay, let's see how it goes. At a point, he wanted to go pay my bride price. I was like, okay, wait. We have to take it slowly. I want us to cut before I know the next step to take. Okay, and which that one, finally I found out that it won't work. I have to tell him, okay, no, it won't work. So even apart from him, there were still other people, and mostly they were not in the country then. I always speak with them and all the rest of them. People were also aside talking about marriage, and I've not met my husband as at then. And then, if someone should tell me that going to snap that picture will make me get to know my husband. I would say no, because what I had in mind then was snap picture, your birthday, and not the rest of them. So on that particular fateful day, I and my friends, we left Olutowe to go snap a picture. Then when we got there, we were snapping. You know how Studio Pics is now. You change your first outfit, people will snap, change clothes, and all the rest of them. So I think I wanted to pick something from my bag. I came out from that inside room that we were snapping. I came to pick something when I saw a cute guy that passed, and his face was familiar. In my head, I was like, I know this face. In his head, and that happens to be my brother, my husband's brother. In his head, he knows me. I was like, look at this guy. It's been long. In my mind, I know this face, but I can't recall where I met this person. So I was just doing what I was doing. I just picked something I came to pick from my bag, and courtesy demand that when you cross someone, you just say good morning, hi, whatever. So when he said hi to me, good day, I greeted him as well. I responded. So he was like, and he came to snap. He was doing his NYSC then. He came to snap a picture that he used as portrait in his house. So he was like, I think I know you. Me too, I was like, same thing, but I can't remember, I can't recall. Are you this? That's the name I called. I think I called Cassie or whatever. That was the name I called. He said no, that is not the name. He then told me his name. I was like, but I can't remember. He then told me that it was in school doing our tutorial in my year 1. And remember, this is 4 years after, because the way it works is that in Imo State University, nursing students, once you do your year 1 in Imo State University, you will go to IMSUT, that is Imo State Teaching Hospital. That is where we stayed in Olo. That is where you complete your 4 years. So it happened that we attended the same tutorial in our year 1, and after year 1, I went to Olo, stayed in Olo for 4 years. So coming back to do a photo shoot picture was the same day he came to do his NYSC photo shoot. So that day we greeted, and when I was about to leave, he said, okay, please, can I have your number? I gave him my number without having anything in mind. I gave out my number to him, someone that I've known you before, you've met, but I know that we were not like, our talking was hi, hello, then in my year 1. We were not like talking like friends or whatever. So I gave him my number without having anything in mind. So what thing happened? Later on, he came back to me. I was like, please, I'm sorry, the number you just gave me, I mistakenly lost the number. And politely, without commenting or anything, I gave him the number. It was later on that he explained to me what really happened. So when I gave him the number, I just went in, we were snapping and all the rest of them, After, I think that same day, in the evening or the next day, he asked me how far. He called me. I was like, it's so person. I was like, how far? Fine. How was it? Hope people went, you and your friend, because he even recognized my friends, How far your friends? Because we are in the same department. I and my friend, we attended the same tutorial. So he was like, hope people arrived safely. I said yes, so all thanks to God. He was like, the next time, wished me happy birthday and all the rest of them. I thanked him, and that was it. So one day, that was after my birthday, I think a day after my birthday, one number called me, and it happens to be my husband, his brother. I picked the call. I was like, hello, and we greeted. It was in the evening. He introduced himself. That's my friend's brother and all the rest of them. That the brother told him that it was my birthday, so he decided to say happy birthday to me. And I didn't know that day, my birthday, I posted now, right? So he took my pictures and sent to his brother. And sent to his brother. So the brother then decided to call me and say happy birthday to me. So I was grateful. I was like, thank you, and all the rest of them. That was all. He introduced himself. I equally introduced myself to him. I didn't have any other thing in mind. I didn't know he would call me back another day, because he told me that he wanted to say a happy birthday to me, and that was all. I was like, oh, thank you, God bless you. And he wished me well, gave me advice, and I was like, thank you. So Once, the brother will call me, that is the one I met in school, ask me, we will just discuss normal life scenarios, and something was happening. Maybe if there's something that maybe he needed somebody, it's as if we now became friends, like normal friends we didn't see again. Excuse me, we didn't see again, we are just talking. Maybe he will tell me so thing happened. If it was to be me, or if I was in the shop, what would I do, and all the rest of them. I'll tell him my normal, what I think and whatever. So I think then he was trying to get the kind of person I was. That I think that was what he was doing, because how can you just come here and tell me, if you were in this shoe and so thing happened, what would be your reaction and all the rest of it? And me personally, you get one thing, why I don't like give advice. I don't know why. I too like giving advice. So when he told me, he would ask me some questions, I would tell him and all the rest of it. That was just all. So the brother was calling me once in a while. At a point, I was not understanding, why would this man be calling me? So sometimes he will call me. I'm this kind of person that likes watching movie. He will call me and he will tell me he wants to speak. I will be like, please, sir, I'm watching a movie. Please call me back in the next, maybe in the next 10 minutes, in the next 20 minutes. He will say, okay. Next 20 minutes, Oga will call me. I'll be like, I'm still seeing a movie. Call me in the next 30 minutes. Next 30 minutes. That was how my husband was doing them. I was not giving him full attention. And as at them, I was talking to a very good friend of mine. He had interest on me, and we were talking. He was outside the country as well. So I was not like having anything, like I was not giving my husband a chance. The only thing is that if he calls me, I'll tell him coming back in the so time. I'll give him time. If he calls me and it's not convenient for me as at that time, I'll tell him, please call me back so time. So one day I also saw the brother when I went to visit my friend in the Franca. So I saw the guy. The guy called me. I was like, what's up? He was like, what? How you there? I was like, fine. I'm even in nowhere. Where you there? I told him, see, I'm close to flying over. I came to visit my friend. So he came around, and I was like, it's true. Somebody called me. He said, it's your brother. He said, yes, that he just gave the brother my number. I was like, whatever. In my mind, I was like, whatever. But I was not having anything. Nothing was coming to my head. So, and my husband was calling me. He was pretending to be in Nigeria, but he didn't know I knew he was not in Nigeria, because I was used to foreign number calling me. You know that when they are calling you, sometimes it doesn't show the exact number. If someone is calling you with a foreign number, if it does, it was not showing the particular country he was in, but I knew he was calling from abroad, because today this number will show, the next day this number. You don't know the one to save. I didn't even save the number. I didn't bother. So he told me that it was the brother. So I was like, okay, no problem. So one day he called me. Let me just cut the story short. He was calling me. I was still doing, call me this time. One day he called me. We were talking. And my mom called me that day. I told him that normally if I'm on call with him and someone should call me, I will definitely tell him, please call me back. Someone is calling me. I'll end his own call and answer the person's call. That was how I was treating him then. But I wasn't treating him by just that. I wasn't having anything in mind. I was just like my friend, my ghost friend, someone I don't know, you get. So that day we were talking. My mom called me. I told him my mom was calling me, but he shouldn't worry that day I will call back my mom. So we were just talking. And he was like, asked me some questions. I answered, and I asked him, what do you do for a living? He told me he was a farmer. Hey, my husband told me he was a farmer. And I don't know why he told me that. I was like, oh, wow, that's good. In my mind, I like people that are proud of what they do for a living. So when he told me that he was a farmer, I was like, wow, that's good. One thing I know is that just be faithful to God. Keep your hands straight. One day, God will bless you. That was the word I used on him. So we kept talking, and every time he would advise me, he would say, be a good girl, this and that and this, and all the rest of them. Fine. Till we got married, my husband did not tell me any day, I love you. There was no I love you. So I was not thinking towards marriage side, you get. So we kept talking, and all the rest of them. There was a particular day that I was talking with the brother, that is the one I met in school. He was asking me, where are you from? This and that, normal conversation. I was free to tell him, and from this, that I never knew this guy jotted everything down. To the extent that even when we were not even into serious discussion, they went for underground checkup. They went to my village, asked questions about me and all the rest of them. So someday, I didn't know them, but the only thing is that there is this my mommy's munyedi that will always call my mom and say, because people really came, people started coming for my hand in marriage at the age of 17. So people were really coming for my hand in marriage. The woman called my mom one day and told my mom that so many people always come to ask questions about me, that she should advise me to choose one person, that when little children are growing like this, that people will be coming for their hand in marriage. If they don't make the right decision to pick one, that there will be a stage that nobody will come for their hand in marriage. And now that they are trooping in to come marry me, that I should make up my mind. My mom called me and was like, and then yeah, how you there? I said, madam, my mom will always come in chinenyenwa. So chinenyenwa, how you there? Oh, when you they said this, and I was like, somebody visited. I didn't have in mind it was that guy, because other people has always called me. I know at a point I stopped telling people my village. I know of one auntie that met me and asked of my village. When I told her I was from Bay, she was so excited because she was also from Bay. So she wanted to go and ask questions. I was like, auntie, please, I can't tell you where I'm from exactly, because I knew if I should tell her, they will go, and the next time my mom will call me. At a point, people were coming to this time. My mom called me and said, Nenye, I will not talk to you about marriage again. Anytime you want to make up your mind and marry, go ahead and do it. But just know that time waits for no one. So I didn't want people to go again, because I don't want anybody to call me, because at a point in my life, I was confused. People were just coming like, I was confused. Who will I go with? And I had someone that I wanted to get married with. I had my boyfriend that we planned on getting married with. I'm getting married, but it didn't work out. So knowing that it didn't work out for between us, was I going to start a relationship afresh and all the rest? And these people they were coming for, like, they want to marry you today, tomorrow. And I'm this kind of person that I want to cut with the person I will get married to. I don't just want to get into marriage like that. So I even know that my friend I was talking to, at least we were talking. I know we weren't close, but we are talking on phone. So all these other people, they are just going. Some of them will give their, even that auntie that wanted to go to my compound and ask questions, it was for the brother. So that day, after everything, my husband called me one day and started talking to me about my village, about my mommy who happens to be the leader of women, and this, how my daddy ruled for how many years I mean chairman, not be chief, not be the king, or just, when you are the head of your village and all the rest of them. How my dad ruled for so many years, how my mom is the chair lady and still this. I was like, what is happening? So I was like, how did you get to know all these things? He then told me that the brother told him. As one feeble now, I have to start thinking like, so this is what this man is coming for. So he then started asking me indirectly about, if you're an Igbo person, you know about our culture, Osu and Ume and all the rest of them, trying to know if I was like, oh God, I know where you're talking, I know where you're driving to. I'm neither of all these things. I'm the real daughter, I'm a daughter of the soil, okay? So my husband did not still tell me that he wanted to marry me. So there was this day we were talking for a long, it was in the evening. We talked in the morning. My husband called me back. I was not calling my husband my ghost friend, because I've not seen his picture, nothing. It was just normal call that would come. I was not like calling him my ghost friend. I never knew that Oga has fallen in love. According to my husband, he said it was, for him, it was love at first sight when he saw my picture. But me, when I saw my husband's picture, I didn't like him, because he was wearing this black goggle that he likes wearing and all the rest of them. So Another thing is that I was so when growing up, I was so closer to my dad than my mom. My mom happens to be a disciplinarian. My dad is a calm person. You get, there is this thing that God created in a house. If your dad is cool, your mom will be hot, or if your mom is hot, your dad will be cool, or if your dad is hot, your mom will be cool. In our own aspect, my mom is the disciplinarian, while my dad is that person that will calm down, listen to you. You can tell me about my mom. When you remember how my mom will shun you and want you to be the best, you will just respect yourself. So I was talking to my dad about men that we are coming from my hand in marriage. So when it got to my husband's turn, what I told my dad was this one. He's calling me, but I'm not interested. I don't like him. Because, okay, finally, my husband, when we started talking, he told me, and I got to understand his intention. He then sent me a message on WhatsApp. That was where I saw his picture. So I was not interested. That is just the truth. I was not interested. So after everything, I showed my dad the pictures, the one from our side. I just showed him different pictures. And I was like, this one, my husband's picture was the last picture I showed my husband. I was like, this one is calling me. I don't even like him. Any day he will call me and tell me and go straight to tell me that he wants to marry me, I'll definitely tell him that I'm not interested. That was how I told my dad. So, and there was this particular one that was from our place. My husband was like, this one is not really bad. I was like, yeah, and he was jovial. That particular person was jovial. So we were talking. We started talking June. July passed. August, September. Okay, we started talking June. July, I met a particular guy that was my spec. So this person was close. Me, I was not really interested in abroad thing or whatever. So I was not like, this person is, when he started talking to me, so I was like giving him attention, like responding to him via calls and all the rest of them. And that person met me in one of our uncle's burial. So when he met me, my dad was there, my mom was there, my cousins, everybody was there. So they knew about the guy meeting me. So I was like, now I was 24. I was no longer a kid. I know what was good and what was bad. The only thing that you always have to trade with caution, right? So when my husband was not asking me, he just started asking me about knowing someone. I was like, see, because we started talking June and August, he asked me that question. I told him yes, so that I met someone last month, that was July, that we are talking, nothing much, but we are talking. So September, brethren, let me cut it short because this video is long. September, my husband came back. I didn't know he was coming back. He didn't tell me he was coming back. And mind you, I was not the only girl my husband was speaking with. There was another girl other girls that was or were introduced to her, you understand? That people introduced to him. So I was doing my, my posting period. So I was posted in More Ruby, right? Yes. My parents were not, it was close to my village, but nobody was there. I went to my friend's place to stay. So I was there. From there, I was going to the hospital to work and all the rest of it. So one day, my phone rang. I'm trying to cut it short. If not, this video will be too long. So my phone rang, and the person called me. It was Nigerian number. The person called me and told me it was my husband. He told me his name. And according to him, before he came back, he already has made a decision that I was his wife. Among all the girls that they showed him, my husband, in his mind, decided that this is his wife. But then, according to him, he said it was me that he chose. But in his mind, he told God, let your will be done. If this person is my wife, let us live together. If this person is not my wife, let it not work. And in my mind was not even where my husband was. So when he called me, he was like, he's in Nigeria. I was like, you're in Nigeria, welcome. I was with my cousin sister then, Dara, I can't forget. I was, you're in Nigeria, welcome now. Why are you telling me now? You flew all the way from Italy to Nigeria without telling me, and now you are calling me. Welcome now, what do you want from me? And he was like, please, he want to see me. I was like, for what? You know, I was a bit harsh. I was like, for what? When we were talking, you did not tell me we are coming back to Nigeria. And according to him, it was emergency. Just wanted to come, pick a wife, and go back. So I was like, I'm not interested, and all the rest of it. He pleaded and pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. After everything, I was like, okay, you will come and meet me close to where I was. So he was like, okay, no problem. Where are you? I told him where I was, and we agreed that we'll see the next day by 12 o'clock. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. So I came back. I told my friend that I have an appointment to meet with somebody. I told my friend Inichi. So that day, that was the next day, that was on the 13th of September 2017. So somebody that has appointment, 12 o'clock, I never bath. I still there house the rest. He called me and told me he was at the junction, at our Murubi junction, my local government, that he was there. I never bath. I knew I had appointment with him, but in my mind, what I had in mind that day was just to see him and tell him that I'm not interested. He should look for someone else. That was what I had in mind. So I told him, okay, that I'm coming. I still went to start. Instead of using electric kettle, I have to use wood. I have to start. I was just delaying. At the end of the day, my hair was I was carrying my natural hair. I didn't make my hair. I wore just simple clothes. The bag, I just looked for something. I just dressed in a way that if he sees me, he will say he's not interested, you get? And me, I will equally tell him that I'm not interested. That was just my plan. So when I got there, he was on call. He was with his brother. So we were talking. He was on call. I waited for him. After the call, he was like, sorry. He apologized that he kept me waiting. I was like, no problem, but you have to apologize. He was like, okay, so I said, no. You have to say, please, I'm sorry. Forgive me. So I was like, okay. He then said what I told him to say. So when I saw him that day, something happened. Remember, my initial plan was to tell him that I'm not interested. But immediately my husband came down from the car and we met face to face. It is super story. It entered super story. We started chatting, just as if we've known each other for years. I was not like, because there is this guy that came back from Brazil to meet me, the person that everybody was thinking that man is my husband because the way the man liked me, but then I don't like it. Only the name them will make me get angry. So when that particular guy came to meet me, even one of my friends prayed and said he's my husband. I was like, how can he be my husband? So I don't even like. So when that one came back, I made the prayer and told God, if this person is my husband, I know personally I don't like him, you get? But if this person is my husband, let one thing lead to another. Let me just like him all of a sudden. I did not like the person. No. When I saw I was like, God, I made the prayer. I did not like him. So, but when I met my husband, I did not have in mind if it is the right person. No, I did not make that prayer. All my wish, all my plan was just to come and tell him that I'm not interested. Basta. That Lord will say basta. Basta is, that's all. But unfortunately, or fortunately, we clicked. It was as if we've known each other for years. We went out, we spoke at length, as in, if you see us, nothing will make you believe that was the first time we are meeting. So it was like love at first sight for me that particular day physically. But for him, he said, just seeing my pictures, that he liked me, he fell in love with me. But he didn't tell me all these things. Until my husband married me, he never told me he loves me. Okay, he always told me, be a good girl. Be a good girl. That has always been his advice. So I want to bring out something again to this video. During those periods that people were coming, I was confused about whom to marry. I made a prayer to God. I told God, I'm so confused. I don't know who to follow. I don't know who is my right hand, because sometimes I'm praying with 6 names, sometimes with 5 names. At the end of the day, I don't know. I was confused. Sometimes the set that will come this year will not be the same set that will come the next year. So I was so confused, and I made a prayer. I told God that I don't know who my husband is. I want you to do something for me, because if I'm going with my normal head, I'll make mistake. Please, what I want you to do for me is that anybody that is my husband, make me not to know what I am doing until I get married to the person. Then it will clear my eye that I'm married. That was how I wanted it. Then as a human being, I wanted to do my own test. At a point I was planning of telling the person I had what is this sickness, hepatitis B. I was comparing the kind of things I would like to know who really loves me, because then some people were coming because of nursing students. You see people tripping into the nursing environment to look for wives. So I didn't want someone that will come and marry me because of my profession. Marry me for whom I am, you get. So I told God to make me on my own. Let me not have a say in it. Let it be as if I was married with charm or whatever. But after everything, let it be of God though. After everything, let it just clear my eye, because I was confused. But me, I will tell the person so that I used the word hepatitis B. I used the word abortion, which I have never tried. I used the word trying to have trying to have a blood disease, anything at all. And another thing happened when my husband asked me something about, when we were talking about all these normal things, he asked me if I had any issues. That was before he came back. I told him no, I don't have any health issue apart from having irregular menstruation as at then. So he's told me that it's not a problem, that it's just a fault that will be fixed. So I opened up to him in that aspect. So when he was not serious about marriage, I was not like thinking like within these three things now, because the way it was shocking the man, which one will I use? I told him, Oga, I didn't use the hepatitis, because definitely the way he was doing, he would tell me to go to the hospital for treatment or whatever. So I told him that I've done abortion. Did I say 3 or 5 times? So he made a comment that shook me. He said that God will forgive me and do not affect me in future. I was like, which kind of wahala be this? I even have to tell my godfather then that look at what happened when everything was getting serious. I have to call him and say, I don't like this guy. I've even have to lie to him, but he's still insisting. So when I finally met my husband, it was as if I've known him for the rest of my life. So at the end of the day, after that particular date, my husband invited me to his house, to his family house. And I agreed. So strange, because me, I'm this kind of person that I have this idea that I'm safer in my house. I prefer guys to visit me in my house rather than me visiting them in their house. That is me. In school, guys visit me more in my house. I don't go to your house because I believe I'm safe in my own house. But in your house, if anything should happen to me, people will blame me for going there. They'll tell me, when you went there, what were you looking for? You get. So I have that idea of people visit me, not me visiting them. But then my husband invited me to his family house. Brethren, I agreed. In my heart, in my brain, what is wrong with you? Why agree to go to his family house? But there was a force dragging me to go. In my mind, I was like, Kamsi, this is not you. But that force was dragging me to go and see his family people. So that particular day that he was meant to come, a friend visited me, someone that came for my hand in marriage as well, a medical doctor. He came as a surprise. He said he was around. He said to branch in Olo and see me. So I told him, I have an appointment with somebody. I was open. I said, is this guy that coming for my hand in marriage as well? I have an appointment with him. And he was like, okay, no problem. I was so open to him. And he begged me not to leave him. In my mind, I've not decided to marry this person, but I don't know what is dragging me. I was like, let the will of God prevail. So that day, when my husband came, he called me. I told him to give me some time now with somebody. So after everything, I told the person I have to leave. So very sad, I have to leave him. He have to go his own way while I go my own way. So I went with my husband to his family place. When we were going, I was still asking myself, Adane, my sisters, my siblings, Adane, what's wrong? Like, I was asking myself, what is wrong with me? Why am I following a stranger to his house? But then there was this force that was dragging me. I packed my things, went to his place. When I got to their place, brethren, hey, the mother was as if she has seen an angel. The siblings was as if they've known me for long. Everybody welcomed me in that house. My mother-in-law, his mother, which happens to be my mother-in-law there, my mother-in-law fell in love with me. My sisters-in-law, everybody welcomed me. My sisters, my husband's alone. That one was just all over the world. He was baby, 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 baby. I was like, now so I stayed there. I think I stayed there for some days, right? I stayed there for some days. I think 2 days or 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. 2 or 3 days or before days. I can't remember the exact day I stayed there. So my husband then told me his intention. I think then he must have heard from the siblings, and everybody was like, this one is this one is this one is this. And immediately my husband saw me, according to him, he cancelled every other girl he wanted to see. In his mind, he has seen his wife. Every other girl, even I remember the aunt calling him to go and meet a particular girl that was from a royal family. The father was a king. My husband didn't accept to go see the girl. I myself, when I saw the picture of that girl, I was like, babe, this guy, I was like, guy, sorry, not babe, then I was like, see, this guy is very fine. And me, I was looking for a way to, distract him and all the rest of them. But then what was dragging me was dragging him as well. So he said no, that he has seen his wife. Unless I disagree, that for now he's not going to see any other person, that he has seen his wife. That was his word. He has seen his wife. So I stayed there for that few days and I went back. Okay, when I went back, before I went back, this story don't long. Before I went back, my husband was like trying to go meet my parents. I was like, no, I don't want to see I don't want him in my mind. I don't want him to go see my parents and all the rest of them. My mother would now start calling me and said again, this one and all the rest of them. So trying to dodge him seeing my parents and all the rest of them. This Abba Python dance that happened in 2017 happened. And something led to another. I don't know what brought my parents home. And I didn't know when I told him my parents we are in the village, that they just came to the village. I had to go see my parents. My husband then said, this is an opportunity for him to go and meet my parents. Me, I went back to school. Then when I went back to school, remember that guy I said that I met June? The guy was calling me. I was so angry, like he hasn't seen my calls and all the rest of that. I went to meet him that day to tell him that, okay, it's not like that and all the rest of them. One thing led to another. That was the day I and that guy, I decided that I'm no longer staying with the guy. I left that guy. But remember, this is the guy that I liked so well. But I don't know what happened. And I decided that I have to let him go. Because what he was not saying was not what I can do. So I have to let him go. So the next day, my husband, because that same day I left my husband's place, I went to see him. Okay? Because immediately I got to my hostel, he called me. He was like shouting, being angry and all the rest of them. Me, I understood, and being someone that I liked, so I went to see him and tried to explain things to him. But when I saw that the area he was going to is something I cannot do, I decided to let it go. And I decided to let it go. So the next day, before I could know what's up, my husband was in my village already to see my parents, because already they're in my village, because we've spoken before. They've gone there to ask questions. My husbands were there. They now told me that they were in my house. I was like, they were in my house. Waiting, carry me go talk to my parents, the village. So after everything, that was how they saw my parents and all the rest of them. That day, I followed them back to the house. And that day was when my husband opened up and told me that he wanted to marry me and wanted me to give him feedback if I would marry him or not. And believe me, I'm not this kind of person that likes jumping into marriage. I want to court before I marry anybody. I want to know you. You know me, know my character. When I talk about knowing, it's about knowing your character, your like, dislike, all of those things and all the rest of them. So I told my husband that I cannot give him feedback now. So my husband told me that he was going back to plan for our wedding. I've not said yes. He just told me that he's going back to plan our wedding. That all he knows that I should prepare. That our wedding will be by January. I was like, I've not said yes to this guy. He just made up his mind, and that was it. So I had something I wanted to do there. For the first time, I don't beg guys money. I don't take money from anybody because I'm a very careful person, and I'm always careful taking things from people. I was okay. I'm not from a rich home, but we are average. We are fine. My mom's business is my bank. Anytime I lack money, I just go there, make some 1 or 2 transactions, sell some things, and have my money. So I told myself, okay, let me see if this thing will work. Let me beg this guy this money and see if he can help me. I wanted to go to a particular school and register for something. So I told him that there is this school I wanted to register and do something, but the money is big. The money they are calling then as at them was so amount. He agreed immediately. I was like, in my mind I was like, maybe he agreed because he had the money then to give me. Maybe he was trying to use it to hold me. So but in my mind I was like, even that money he gave it to me, but the person ate the money. The person I gave the money ate the money. So I said not to give him a feedback until I hear from God, but then something was still dragging me. Being somebody that I know that I'm not this kind of person that has a regular menstruation, then I told God, okay, if this person is my husband, in 2 weeks time, let so thing happen to me. Like, let my menstruation come, even if it's not a full menstruation, let there be a blood stain for some days in my pants or in my pad. And 2 weeks later, because I told him to give me 2 weeks, 2 weeks that thing happened. I was like, so does it mean this person is my husband? Then I called my godfather, Reverend Chidakora, and I told him, look at. Even I told him that I even lied to this guy that I've done abortion, which is not true. I've done abortion, like I told him, I don't know if I said 3 times or 5 times, and he still insisted. Reverend Chid said, okay, I should give him his number so he will call him. I gave my husband my godfather's number. He called him and they spoke. And my godfather called me and said I should marry him, that he's a good guy. I called one of my friends again and said, there is this my friend. I know he was interested, but me, I knew I was not interested. I don't like 2-3 years gap difference in marriage, okay? So I called that my friend. I was like, see, there is this guy coming from my hand in marriage. Look at, I even have to lie to him. I even have to tell him that I've done abortion, because that was the striking point I wanted to use to push him out. Okay, I told him that I even told this guy that I've done 3 or 5 abortions, and this guy is still insisting that he will marry me. So the guy told me, are you sure you told him this? I said yes, I told him, and he still wants to marry you. I said yes, that he still wants to marry you. The guy was like, if you really told him this and he still wants to marry you, then he's a good guy, go for him. So after so many things and all the rest of it, I still don't know what was happening. And there's something I missed. The day they were going to meet my parents, that they had a flat tire in front of a vulcanizer. So the dad was like, this is a good journey. That if it happened, because after that place, they are going to go to a very far, village, and moving from Bano to my place, there is no way you will see a vulcanizer at least for the next 30 minutes. But when the tire when they were about to have a flat tire, it happened in front of a vulcanizer. So there was no stress. They just did everything straight. So my father-in-law was like, he's a good John, and all the rest of them. At a point, they went and collected the list. My husband has traveled back. They went and collected the list. Before you know it, the list was missing. My father-in-law was like, he has looked for this list everywhere, that he can't find it. My father-in-law said that I was the one holding the list. I was like, Daddy, I'm not holding any list. So my father-in-law said that I'm the one holding the list. I should provide it. I was like, check where you kept it. They told me that whether I like it or not, they will go for this journey, and I will be the one to find the list. So when I entered into my father-in-law's place, my father-in-law is a careful person. When I entered, I made a prayer. I said, God, if this is your will, let me find this list. If this is not your will, let me not find this list. Because so other things that I've tried, it happened. I don't know. It happened. So when I went, I took something up. Second one, third one, look at the list. I was like, my father-in-law said he didn't see this list. And he's a very careful person. How come? They've looked for this list for some days. And my father-in-law said I will be the one to get the list. That he know that he has looked for it everywhere. He can't find it. But when I came in, after making that prayer, it wasn't long enough. I just found the list. I handed it over to them. Before I could say Jack Robinson, 13th of September of October, because I met my husband 13th of September. 13th of October, they paid my bride price. After they paid my bride price, it was as if something cleared my eye. My eye was open. I started wondering, Kamsi, what have you done? And you know that in Igbo culture, once your bride price is paid, you are married. Kamsi, what have you done? How can you marry a man you don't even know? Someone you just met for 1 month, your bride price has been paid. Hi. I was like, God, what happened? God reminded me that I made a prayer, that I don't want to use my right senses. Ah, God, I was just like, have I done the right thing? Have I done the wrong thing? That was how my husband left without me giving him a yes answer, and 2 weeks after, I gave him a go-ahead order. Before you know it, they've paid my bride price. Before you know it, I'm now a nyumba now. So that was how I met and married my husband. Within 1 month, we got married and we planned our wedding. After October, November, December, January 2nd, we had our traditional marriage. January 5th, our white wedding. January 13th, our court wedding. That was how I met my husband. So for those of you that have been saying that I've known my husband for long, I've been dating my husband, even other people, when I told them I was getting married, people just believe I've known him, that I just decided to play them, maybe play as if I didn't have anybody. But this was how everything happened. It wasn't like planned. It was the least guy that I expected. The least guy I said I'll get married, that I won't get married to, was the guy I got married to. That one I was talking to, that I was thinking that it would be me and him. I just have to call him. I didn't know how to call him, because other ones I can easily tell them that I was getting married. But something happened when I visited my husband that first time. The next day, this guy called me. My husband doesn't pick my call. Up to this moment, he doesn't pick my call. Other calls were coming. My husband didn't pick it. That call came in, my husband picked it. I don't know why. So my husband, my husband asked him who he was. He said he was my friend. And he asked my husband who I was to him. My husband said that, well, it's not necessary, that I'll be the one to explain who he was to me. So later on, the guy called me and was asking me what happened. He was like angry and all the rest of it. But mind you, that one did not make his intention. No, he was just going, when the guy wants to marry, but he has not told you, but his intention, because he was just telling you so time he wants his parents to come and say, at least let you meet in his family. He doesn't want you to talk to any guy. He just wants to keep you to himself and all the rest of them. Even the first time he met me, I know he came for marriage, but then I bullshit him. Then after 6 months that we started talking, I already knew his plan, but he didn't go straight to say, I want to marry you, like propose properly, okay? So finally, I have to tell him that, I told him that this guy was a friend that was coming from my hand in marriage. Before he could say Jack Robinson, I told him that we are married. So he was mad. All of a sudden, someone that has not come back for all this, all of a sudden he flew from where he was to Nigeria, seeking to see me, but I told him it was late, that traditionally I'm already somebody's wife and I can't see him. So that was how I didn't even see him. Till today, I've not seen him. I don't know if he's married or not. So that was how I met my husband. That's how I married my husband within a month. That's how I got married to a stranger. That's how everything happened. 5 years plus, we are here dealing with it. Some days we are happy, some days we are not happy, just like every other couples have their good and bad day. That is the same way we have our good and our bad days. God has been faithful in all things. We can't deny God of his blessings. But then, just know that I married him within 1 month. Do I regret it? Do I not regret it? There are days when you quarrel with him, you'll be like, why did he even marry this guy? There are days that you are happy, you'll be like, oh, thank God I married him. So this is the condition I am into, and I'm grateful to God. Secondly, if I'm to give someone advice, would I advise someone to do the same thing that I did, just marry a man without knowing him fully? From my sense and from my belief, I would say no, because why I said no is that I believe in courting someone to know the person. Then I will say yes, you should do the same thing if the hand of God is in it. Do you understand? If you know you've prayed and you've made some requests from God and it falls to be like this, go ahead. But if you've not prayed, don't just rush into it. I think this is how God wanted it for I and him. And today, this is 5 years plus. We are here. We are doing it. We are digging it out. We say all thanks to God, and may he give us the grace to end well in life in the name of Jesus. So this is me telling you guys how I met and married my husband within 1 month. So thank you guys for watching. My husband would have been here to say his own aspect, but he's a camera shy human being. He wouldn't want to do it, so that's why I'm doing it all alone. Thank you for watching. This video is long already. I'll see you guys in my next video. For now, bye.